To Peninsula Corridor Monday, our second stream of the day. We are going to take the F40 on a limited stop service. So I figured it's about, well, it's a little about 18 after 7 here on the East Coast. So I figured I'd try to get a service round about what it would be the time wise in San Francisco. So the closest we got is a 1533 service. Number 258. So we are going to get in there, get our locomotive set up, and do our limited service run, lap breaks and all, on the F40. See how we do with the stopping of the lap breaks. See if we can try to nail our stops. So see how that goes. So hopefully everybody's having a good Monday evening or early Tuesday morning, depending on where you are in the world, or maybe even late Tuesday already. Whatever the case may be. Luckily, I just muted myself because I let out a pretty good burp. I don't think anybody would want to hear that. All right, so we got the loading screens as usual. Got the beautiful Clinchfield, the F7 right there with the reminders about the brakes and the Arosa line. So apparently a lot of the problems on the Arosa line haven't completely been addressed. So we will not be doing a Arosa line this weekend, Friday or Saturday. What we will be doing instead is American Freight Weekend. So Friday we're going to spend some time on Clinchfield, and Saturday we are going to head over to Sandpatch Grade. So there we go. No Arosa line this weekend. So you don't get to hear the screaming whistle just yet. So once we get this loaded up, of course, this is the time that it takes its sweet time. I'm streaming and, what the deuce. So I got one viewer right now. Thanks for coming in. Hopefully we'll get loaded into the game proper here in a moment. Yeah, we get to see some of this nice photography. People load up, and then if chosen, they get to have their pictures featured on the or the loading screen. So all right, here we go. Oops. Doors open. We'll get everything on. Get the lights. Need the rear lights on. We should get the step lights, the gauge lights. Brakes. Alright, go ahead and get the doors shut. Now, let's see if I can find over here. Here's F. And we want to go to normal. should set up our lights inside the cab there, inside the passenger area, I do believe. We'll have a look here in a moment. All right, so we are ready to depart. Let's have a look here. Yep, the lights are on. Yay. There we go. Although it's not dark out, you know, we'd like to have our lights on for our passengers. So San Bruno is going to be our first stop. Now, I did look the other day. I downloaded, again, Train Sim World 2020, and discovered that I may have been misguided about what I thought was a non-stop service on the timetable in Train Sim World 2020. There was limited stop services, pretty much like what we have here, but there was no, as near as I could figure, there was no non-stop service for the Baby Bullet from San Francisco to San Jose. Now, I think years ago, early on, there may have been, but I don't think there is now. So, yeah. So we get that all figured out. So here's our locomotive from the front. Train number 919. Leaving the city. There's the bell switch. Ah, okay. Had to look for it. Couldn't remember. It's been a while since I've been in the F40. Let's get the window open. Now, I see a lot of yellow, so is there a train in front of us, I wonder? So we have to watch our speed, or what's going on here? There is a train in front of us. Okay. It looks like it's moving pretty quickly, though, because it's down here already. Go. It's already past the station, so we should be... Yeah, it's right there. There's 2 locomotives on there, so that looks like a dash or a GP38, like a freight service. So whatever it is, it's gone. Like it's moving. So hopefully. Get some speed up here a little bit, kind of. So San Bruno will be our first stop. And that's right there. And after that should be Millbrae. Yep. So yeah, we'll see how we fare with the lap brakes. Ooh, let me get the light on real quick before we go into the tunnel here. There we go. There we go. We can start speeding up even more so now. us here through the 22nd stop, 22nd Avenue. So yeah, next week it sounds like we're going to get our first taste of what the whole rush hour situation's about. Looking forward to hearing more about that and what the future holds for the game. Well, you know what I didn't put on is the alerter. We'll put the radio on too, just for the heck of it. Northbound Baby Bullet service going into the city. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing what they have to say about the future of the game, what their plans are for more routes and all that. Rivet certainly has their work cut out for them in figuring out the problems on the Arosa line. Apparently, after the update, there are still issues with derailments and just a bunch of other stuff. So we're going to steer clear of that one in the interim. Once it appears that things are better, I guess, for lack of a better term. Once things have improved, then we'll give that route a go. But in the meantime, because it just doesn't make sense to go in there and try to do a service, and then we end up inadvertently getting a derailment for no particular reason. And so, yeah, I'm just gonna try to avoid that sort of. So we do have to slow down to 65 here, so I'm going to get on the brakes just a little bit. Now, I thought, because we slowed to 65, I thought for sure we were going to go off the main line here for a moment and go, even though there's no reason for us to go by this platform. But so there should have been no reason for us to slow down to 65. It seemed kind of odd for us to do all that, and then, because normally that's you do that when you're ready to come off the, go into that siding to go onto that, for that platform there, the Bayshore stop. Interesting. A couple GP38s right there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting on Clinchfield this weekend, on Friday for sure, and then Saturday doing a service on the Sandpatch Grade. Do some American Freight. Kind of take a break away from passenger service stuff and enjoy the, you're not on a time crunch on passenger or on freight services. You're just, you get there when you get there. So we should be coming through South San Francisco here in a moment. On our way to San Jose. So let's see what stations we stop off at along the way here. What's considered limited stop. So nice sunny afternoon. Maybe the workers in the city have decided to leave work a little bit early today, make their way home. We'll gladly get them there. Maybe they've conducted all their meetings up there in the city, so they're heading back down to San Jose to the businesses and whatnot. All right, 1.8 miles to San Bruno. I'm going to try to not surf the locomotive as much as I was this morning or the other day. I have that bad habit. I got into it in Train Sim World 2020, where I was like, oh, I want to see outside. You know, like the cab is, you know, it's pretty straightforward. It's nothing we haven't seen before in other locomotives that are like this. Alright, let's start bleeding off some speed here. Now the trick is we're going to go up that hill, of course, if I remember correctly. I think so. Yeah, we're going to go up that hill, so we don't want to lead off too much speed and then kind of lose our momentum going up the hill there to the station. So we're going to kind of let gravity do its own thing, and we'll add just a touch of brake. Go. I'm just gonna coast this on in a little bit, and then we're gonna right about there. We're gonna get some pressure on. Well, it might not be a perfect stop, but pretty darn close to it. Oh, we got it. We nailed it. Wow, 500 points. I like it. Right, first stop of the service, and we nailed that one. So, again, a lot of people struggle, and I did it first too. The lap braking systems they're a bit touchy, I found. You know, it's really hard. You have to practice, you know, and I'm sure I'm going to either... I don't expect to nail all the stops on the service tonight. I'm probably going to go a little bit over or stop short on some of them. Alright, let's go ahead and get the brakes released. Should be ready to depart here in a moment. Yeah, it's a bit. It is touchy. It takes a lot of practice to figure out the braking pressures. Like uh, oh, I got like another minute to go. I thought we were getting ready to depart. So Millbrae's next. So yeah, it just takes practice to figure out the braking pressures and when to start bleeding off the speed. Especially if you're going at full, if you're going the full 79 miles an hour. Uh, you know, and sometimes you're going to get it right, and other times you're going to completely misjudge your braking distances and when to put on, the pressure. Uh, so yeah, it just takes some practice. I really didn't expect to hit that on the first. I thought I was going to stop a little bit short of the stopping point here. So this is our stopping point for the F40. The other one for the MP36 is up there, I believe. All right, full whack. Let's go. Millbrae's next 2.5 miles, and then Burlingame is next after that. So far we got our max points. We did speed a little bit early on as we were coming out near Bayshore. We were up there 80 miles an hour. Now a lot of people ask me why is it 79 miles an hour? Why isn't it rounded up to 80? I honestly don't know. I don't know if it's due to the amount of, I mean, I don't think 1 more mile an hour is going to make much of a difference on this route compared to, 79 versus 80. I don't really see the difference. But for whatever reason, that was the limit. And it could be a signaling issue, could be based on the stopping distance of these trains, even if they have to get like the emergency brakes engaged, so yeah, I really don't know. I don't know that there's any way to find out. I don't think Caltrain would even put out the reasons why they do that. All right, got off the throttle there. So I'm going to go ahead and get on the brakes just a bit and start bleeding some speed off. Now, as near as I figure it, from what I've been told, you want to try to enter the station at about 25 miles an hour or so. So we're at 20 now, so we can. Yeah, kind of blew that one just a bit. But it's still a good stop overall. We didn't go too far past our marker, just a tad, but it wasn't like, we weren't like way out here. You know, like the locomotive wasn't way down here somewhere. You know, past this pillar or something, or even past that one. So it's a good stop either way. So we're good to go. We've got our we got there in a reasonable amount of time actually. So all right, brakes are off. We can get out of here. Should be no wheel slip at all. Full whack. Dropping the hammer, hitting the loud pedal, whatever you want to call it. So Burlingame, then San Mateo. So just, I mean, unless we skip some stops in the southern part of the service, this doesn't seem like a limited stop, but we'll see. I mean, we did pass Bayshore and we passed South San Francisco, but I'm curious to see what other stops we might pass along the way here. It's been a while since I've run a service on the F40, so. But we'll complete it all. We're not gonna shirk our duties here on the Peninsula corridor. we're gonna do the service, expect the worst and hope for the best. So yeah. So it's always nice. I know I've brought this up before, but it's always nice to come back to the home route. You know, I can't be at home. You know, I wish I had the ability to charter a jet and fly home whenever I wanted, but that's not very realistic. But this is close enough, you know. It's nice to reminisce about home and riding on this line. All right, so we're gonna get on the brakes again. Go ahead and start slowing down now. That was one of the things I had to learn early on, and it took me a while to figure it out on Train Sim World 2020 before this game came out. Is, you know, looking at your distances and knowing when to get on the brakes is does, you know, you have to kind of read the situation a little bit too. Now the tricky part is here, so we're going to get off the brakes, but we got to let the brakes kind of recharge, and then we have to get kind of right back on them. But we see that's the difficult part. See, now I got them on there a little too much. But we're going to be on time, so I'm not too worried about. There we go. That's a good stop. Look at that. Yeah, just that's the tricky part with the lapping or the lap brakes, and then getting on the you know, resetting it and you know, releasing the brakes and then getting right back on them for a nice clean stop there. Go ahead and get the doors shut. Get the little blast of the horn there. San Mateo, 1.3 miles away. So we're getting into that part, and I've talked about this in other streams. We're getting into that section of the route where the stations are somewhat close together. So we're not going to be able to really get all the way up to 79 miles an hour. We'll be lucky if we break 50 or 55 miles an hour before we have to get back on the brakes. So I'm going to surf out here just for a little bit, as Pete calls it, surfing on the locomotive. So 45, 46. Because if we let off the gas, we can let off now, and we don't have to brake right away because we're not like speeding too much, so we can kind of coast a bit and then get on the brakes probably right about, let's go ahead and get on them now and get some. Oh, there we go. Oops. I need to click over into the service to start building up the pressure so I can put it on lap. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get off the brakes again. Should still be on time for this stop. Not the most perfect stop, but still pretty darn good. I thought that was a tricky one to stop at. So we have Hillsdale's next. Ooh. Wasn't paying attention. All right. 2.5 miles to Hillsdale. So, thank you to my one viewer for sticking around. Thought maybe I was going to get a few more people in, but I guess not. That's okay. It is what it is. So earlier today, I completed my third project for my Afterlives class, talking about the journeys of Dante and Ulysses. And the similarities, I found way more similarities than I expected, or I didn't really give it much thought until I was putting together my presentation, and I thought, oh, well, there's a lot of symbology in both stories that are used, which I thought was a very interesting point. It was about a 16-minute recorded presentation. Threw in a few sound effects for good measure, just to kind of spice things up a little bit. Yes. Hopefully the instructor, she encouraged everybody to kind of be creative with their projects as much as possible. I think one student's doing a painting, and so yeah, it's really cool to be able to use a bit of my radio production class sort of knowledge for the presentation. So, and then I also had to finish up watching this show on Netflix called The Russian Doll. It was a very interesting concept, but I was kind of put off by the unnecessary political commentary. It didn't add anything. It was kind of like a jab at different voters in the country that I just didn't think really added to the overall story of the characters. So yeah, it was that almost put me. I was almost set against watching the remaining episodes. It's only an 8-episode series, although a season 2 has been greenlit by Netflix. But it doesn't really strike me as a show that I am going to feel compelled to watch in season 2. And it is what it is. Well, this person's standing a little too close to the edge there. And I think traditionally, if you do that, they do give you a warning to step back. We didn't completely blow that stop, but it was not perfect by any stretch. That's all right. Yeah, if you're standing here in this yellow area and a train's coming in, if the engineer sees you, you're probably gonna get a blast of the horn to remind you to step back. A lot of people probably stand there, they're reading the paper, because you're supposed to stand behind this yellow line, right, until the train comes to a complete stop. But a lot of people are reading their newspaper, they're listening to their iPods, they're not paying attention to what's going on. And you could easily, if you're not really watching what you're doing, you could get clipped by the train. Even though it's not going super fast, you don't want to get hit by that train. I don't think it would feel very good. So, yeah, that would have definitely gotten a... But the station attendant may have gotten on the PA system and tried to warn the person to step back as well before the train got in. Belmont is next. And then San Carlos. So yeah, that's... So we've not been late so far. Knock on wood. But we have been on time. We're getting our max points. We've nailed a few stops. We've not completely blown stops yet. So that's a good thing. Yeah, we're winding up the semester. It's coming to an end, and it's gone very quickly. Although it doesn't feel like it. It seems like we've kind of dragged on in some cases, and other times it just feels like there's just not been any time at all to get much of anything done. And you start making you start making bargains with your time, I found. And you start thinking, oh, okay, I can, or you bargain about what grade you can expect to get out of the work that you're going to do. you know, like, well, I'd like to get a B plus, maybe an A minus, but given the time constraint, I think I'm just gonna say no. I'm gonna do. You know, you know you're gonna try. You're probably doing C work, and that's the best that you can expect. But sometimes, you know, you might surprise yourself and get a better grade. You know, but it's yeah, I'm happy it's coming to an end. It's been a doozy of a semester. I thought last in the fall was crazy, but this has been a whole nother level of crazy that I was not expecting this semester. All right. So we weren't late. We got there on time, but you notice now we should have been in the station already getting our passengers because we should have been leaving about 20 seconds ago. So we're all right. The door's locked. Get the brakes off. All right, let's go. Notch 8. Let's go. 1.3 miles to San Carlos, and then Redwood City's next. This is almost like it has the feelings of an all-stop service. I won't lie. But it just may be how this particular service stops at this time and timetable service number. These are the stations it calls to. Of course, I think, and I could be wrong, I'm just going to kind of guess here. I guess the timetable, the way it's spread out, is so that it decreases the chance for services to kind of bunch up together. You know, you don't want trains to get too, you know, close to one another, and you start to have to worry about a train sitting right outside the station, or, you know, at a red light. We're gonna cruise, just kind of coast on in here a little bit. So that seems to be our new 4, 5, 6. We're stopping within that instead of our. That's okay. We're not, like I said, we're not blowing completely through the station. The entire train is on the platform, so we're doing good. Doing okay.
The doors are about to close.
Get off the brakes here. As soon as we get the green light, we are ready to go. So yeah, after we get to San Jose, we'll wrap up the service, and you know, thankful to get two streams in today. Wasn't expecting to. Hadn't really planned on it, but I thought, you know, it was nice going up to Oakville and doing a couple of freight services up there. After Redwood City, we have Menlo Park. And then after Menlo Park, I would imagine we're going to have Palo Alto. If not Palo Alto, it'll be California Avenue. So yeah, I just gotta get through this last few weeks of the semester. It's not gonna be easy, I know that. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to. Ooh, better get on the brakes. This is probably the best stop I've had at Redwood City ever. Usually, even on the MP36, for whatever reason, I'm usually like out in here. So that was a really good stop. We finally got we hit our braking points, and yeah, that was a good stop. Everything's on the platform. That's a good thing. Get the doors shut. Get the brakes off. So that we can get out of here. As soon as we get that, we hit our time. Alright, Menlo Park is next, and then, yep, Palo Alto. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. Pretty pleased for not having run this locomotive in quite some time. It's nice to come in and it's not been perfect, and that's okay, but to, you know, do as well as we have so far, and I think roughly, yeah, we're about at the halfway point. Certainly by the time we get to Menlo Park, we're going to be at the halfway point in the service. So, yeah, it's gone pretty darn good. So, yeah. Pretty happy. We got a nice 3 miles to, just now under 3 miles to Menlo Park. Quite a lot of baby bullet services going to the city. There's that GP38 just sitting over there, trying to hide behind these cars full of dirt. Somebody's not doing their duties on the road, on the railroad today. So yeah, earlier today I was watching the live stream at Belen, New Mexico. There was a lot of freight action on there today. It was cool. It was really neat to kind of just sit there and watch them. There was this one train. There was 2 locomotives at the front, and I'm thinking, okay, there's going to be maybe 3 or 4. It was a good long train at first, and then I thought, oh, okay, at some point there's only going to be like maybe 3 locomotives at the tail end for banking service. Nope, there was 4 more locomotives in the middle, and then nothing at the end. It was like a huge freight train, just absolutely just long freight service. Like, it didn't seem like it was ever going to stop when it was pulling out of the yard there at Belen. But yeah, it was a pretty neat thing watching that. They did have a I better get on the brakes here. They did have a war bonnet on one of their. It was like a heritage unit there at the yard. It was kind of looked kind of worn down, like the paint job needed a bit of a touch up maybe, but it was pretty neat otherwise. Not too bad. Once we leave here, we'll find out where we're going to after Palo Alto. So yeah, we're just over halfway to the end of on the line, so we'll know pretty soon what stations we're going to be skipping. Right, doors are closed. Away we go. California Avenue after Palo Alto, and then it should be Mountain View after California Avenue. I don't think we're going to skip Mountain View. We'll see. Quick run up here to Palo Alto. 1.2 miles, so we won't get super fast. Get up there to our top speed. Still got my one viewer. Don't know who it is, but thanks for sticking around. So this one I'm going to try. Alright, let's get the... one of my favorite stations here. One of my favorite parts of the Bay Area, Palo Alto, definitely. Oops. Uh-oh. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. There we go. Got under that. It's very tricky. The thing about this brake is you can easily go into handle off, and you can inadvertently stop way too early. So yeah, we're gonna go a little bit past here, but not too terribly much. Alright, so we're still on time. We stopped on time, so we'll still get our 500 points for our passengers. We just kind of... That was a bit of a goofy stop, I'll be honest. Alright, quick run up to California Avenue, 1.6 miles, and then San Antonio. Wow. So I think we are skipping Mountain View. Yeah, because it's usually California and then Mountain View. So, yeah, interesting. Now, one of the things that I thought they would have made a scenario for, because they did one kind of for, you're supporting a baseball game there in the city, and you got to do an extra service from the city back to San Jose. They've never done a service where you're supporting like a Stanford football game or something, that you have to stop here at Stanford. I always thought that's kind of interesting. That would have been a neat thing to have them have that as part of their scenarios. kind of coast this one in just a bit. We're going slightly downhill, so we don't want to wait too long to get back on the brakes because we want to have enough pressure to slow the train down since it's going slightly downhill. Not bad. We are on time there as well. Good stuff. San Antonio, then we'll see where we're at after San Antonio. So this is one of the bike cars. It's labeled there as such. You can put your bike in a kind of, you have to lean it up against one of these racks or whatever.
Caution, the doors are about to close.
Oh, San Antonio and then Mountain View. Boy, I tell you, that's how long it's been since I've been on the route here. So Mountain View after San Antonio. We're in a northbound F40. I wonder if we're skipping a bunch of stuff after Mountain View then. Maybe just stopping off like in Sunnyvale and then into San Jose. Guess we'll find out when we get there. So for me, as long as I'm hitting into the high 400s or close to 500, that's we're getting close to our max points for our stop and for passengers. So that should get us on into a gold medal at the end of the service. There we go. Now I think I'd have to look again if I next time I do a service for northbound with the Nippon Gallery cab car. If that is in fact the
Caution. The doors are about to close.
where the bikes usually are. I guess it would make sense that it would be in the last car of the train. Mountain View. Yep, Sunnyvale after Mountain View. Now, I do believe, and I have to look up, but I do believe these are derivatives of the SD40s that we've seen in other routes. It's got the same design, probably the same, maybe not maybe as powerful because it's not hauling freight, not hauling a lot of tonnage. But I have to read up more about the F40s and how they came to be passenger trains, passenger locomotives. Now, what I wish, I think you could probably do it with the scenario planner, scenario designer, is have a GP38, the Union Pacific, run a passenger service on this route. I think that would be kind of a cool thing to do. We might have to try that out sometime and see if we can create a go ahead and put a little too much brake pressure on there on the lap. I'm going to stop a little bit short so we're not running late or miss our chance at 500 action points. So Sunnyvale, and we'll see where we're at after Sunnyvale after we get our passengers on board here. There's a fellow F40 service. Of course, they don't have their... Oh, it is lit up. Okay. Oop. start rolling backwards just a bit. That's why we like to get on the notch 8 right away. Lawrence after Sunnyvale. So it doesn't feel like we've skipped a whole lot of stops for limited stop service. This is like something just shy of an all stop service, you know. But that's okay. It's been fun. It's been nice to get back in this locomotive. I won't lie. It's been good. It's been quite enjoyable. Well, you know what? I don't need this light. I don't know why I didn't turn it off. We haven't been in a tunnel in quite some time. So when I get up tomorrow morning, I'll load this. I'll get it downloaded and do a premiere on YouTube. I'm probably gonna watch a little TV after I get this all done. So after Lawrence, we should go right on into San Jose, I believe. I don't think we're stopping anywhere else. But we'll see. Boy, before I know it, it'll be time for my second COVID shot. Which will be good, because I don't think I have... Everything should be turned in by then. So, hopefully, hopefully if I need to rest after the second shot, which is when most people feel like they've... The most worst side effects happen after the second shot, so... I've got the time to rest and all that, so... Alright. On time there. That guy was like frozen right there. It seemed like he was just like standing there, then all of a sudden he turns around, starts walking towards the train. That was kind of odd. What was that? Better hurry up. If he's going to get on the train, he better hurry because I'm about to close the door. There we go. Alright, he's on. We're going to close the door now. That was crazy. Alright. Next stop, Lawrence. Let's see if we're stopping anywhere else. Santa Clara, wow, it is almost like an all-stop service. This is... Well, I hear a jet. Must be from San Jose Airport there. Here, where is he at? I thought I heard it. I don't know. Huh. Oh, there it went, right there. Yeah, what they consider to be a limited stop service. Well, maybe. Well, all right. I'm willing to concede. It's very possible that for the F40, this is considered a limited stop service. And maybe it just differs between the F40 and the MP36, what is considered limited stop. So off the side we go. We'll speed back up here once we pass that 70. Pick up some speed so that we're maintain our on time. Now it's possible too that we may get held up a little bit at Lawrence because there may be a faster service behind us that once we stop at Lawrence, a baby bullet might come blasting by on this track right here. Alright, off the throttle. Let's get on the brakes a little bit because we are going downhill. We need to start slowing down. That's one of the crazy things about this game in a way is the sometimes even a slight downhill you will gain speed very quickly. Now I wonder if that has to do with how much weight you've got behind the locomotive versus, you know, a passenger train like this. I don't think, you know, it certainly doesn't weigh the same amount as a load of, you know, dirt behind you or coal, for instance. That's a pretty good stop right there. Can't complain about that one too much, if at all. Alright, Sunnyvale, or Lawrence, then Santa Clara, and then we should be going into San Jose. Now let's take a look to see if there is in fact a faster service behind us, if at all. I don't see one, so as soon as we are able to go, let's see if we're able to actually go, or if we're going to sit here at this red until that fast service passes us, because that's happened before if I remember correctly. There's a service there, nothing there. Oh, we just got a yellow, that's it. Okay. So Santa Clara, then San Jose. Yep, there we go. Alright, we're coming to the end of it. It's, I mean, almost, we're at about an hour. Well, we haven't been streaming for a full hour 20. Well, we started, but we haven't been playing the route, so we sat in the loading screen for quite a long time. As usual. And again, I think once I get a next-gen console, the loading time is going to be significantly less. Now the interesting thing that, if I remember correctly, coming out of this siding here for the stop, when we get back onto the main line here in a moment, it seems like it takes forever before we finally get up, or the speed is back up to 70. Oh, no, it's right there. But it always feels like it takes forever before we're actually able to get it back up to 79. Let's see how... Oh, there we go. I don't know why. This feels... Anyway. Yeah, it's been a good stream overall, I think. Thought thought I was going to have some more viewers, but it's okay. Thankful for my one viewer who's been here the entire time. So, yeah, it's nice to do this, and been nice to be back at the F40 again. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting on Clinchfield on Friday and then doing Sand Patch on Saturday. It'll be kind of fun to get back in those routes as well. We'll do the F7 on Friday. We'll see how we fare on a service on the F7, and then we'll see how long it takes, and maybe if we can, we'll do 2 services depending on what's going on. Let me get on the brakes here before I too much farther. Now, of course, we don't want to blow the stop here in Santa Clara because we do have a red light there just at the end of the station, it looks like. Right, there's a good speed to come coasting in at, and we will get on the brakes right about now. Be a little short of the stop. That's all right. We are all on the platform, so that's good. Go ahead and get off the brakes because we're on a flat, level situation. Go ahead and get doors locked, so all we're waiting for is the green light to go. I hear another jet. Where is it? I heard it. All right, there we go. We got the green up ahead. Next stop, San Jose. So we'll just be just over an hour and a half stream, probably, by the time we get there. 2.4 miles to San Jose. Yeah, it's been nice. We've been on time. We've not had any really major issues, per se. Nothing that has delayed us so crazy or egregiously that my professor got my recording, had to submit it on Blackboard because it was too couldn't put it as an email attachment, so hopefully there's no issues. Yes, we'll find out tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow, maybe, or I know one of these days this week we have a guest speaker who worked on the show Russian Doll. Somebody to do with the show, or knows quite a lot about the show and the characters or whatever, I guess. So, yeah. So hopefully this week will be kind of a relaxed week. Right, so we're coming, there's the outskirts of the station. We have our maintenance yard coming up here on the right. The wash station for the trains. And then we have our fuel pads are here as well. Right there. I hear the train or plane again. Let's see if I can. Maybe I'm hearing things now. I don't know. Right. So we begin the slow crawl into San Jose. We got our 20-mile-an-hour limit here, and then right after that, we're gonna right around the corner. There's a 10-mile-an-hour. So we're gonna kind of let this coast because we're going slightly uphill. But we are gonna have to get on brakes just a teeny bit to get to that 10, or at least bleed off a little bit, and then we'll coast uphill. Right about there looks good. We've got plenty of time, it looks like, to get to our platform there, which is right there. We've got no other services hindering us or keeping us from going into the station. Alright, I'm going to use... Should have... Oh, come on. There we go. We're going to leave nothing to chance. We did have a little bit of speeding earlier, but let's try to keep it within the speed limits as much as possible. We are going to cross up right there, and there's our platform right there. So I thought we could have crossed over. Yeah, I don't know why we didn't cross back there. and then go right on into our platform. That seems kind of odd. We are definitely, barring anything crazy happening, we should be on time. Not the most perfect stop, but pretty darn good. And there we go. Ta-da. Took an hour and 27 minutes. So there we are. And that is that. Thank you for hanging out, and I will see you Friday on Litchfield.